Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, we are back. What is going on this week in white supremacy? You know what I'm saying? Yes. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
It's Eid. Eid
Oh,
Mubarak.
God.
Oh,
Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Oh, he's having a one-man protest.
I mean, he didn't have to be here.
He didn't have to.
Kind of did, actually.
I mean, you know.
Y'all could have done this yesterday.
But we wouldn't have had, to my right.
Watch this. I want you to watch what happens. It comes on a delay.
Oh my gosh! So you want all the smoke today? Is it?
No, I just don't want you saying shit. I just don't want you saying anything.
I mean, if you wanted to celebrate Eid, I don't see no meat on the table.
Ooh,
so, like,
wow.
if we're gonna talk about
Come
it,
on.
let's talk about it.
Where's
Let's put
the-
it on the floor.
where's the-
Where's
Why do
the
I have
meat?
to feed you?
Where's
Why do
the
I have
meat?
to?
Why do I have to feed you?
Where's the meat?
So my name is Jasiri X.
a sock for love?
I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. We already introduced Miracle. As we continue on,
Man.
this ain't Arby's now.
Yeah, right?
I mean, if we're gonna celebrate and observe,
Yes.
did Treble? Did he invite you to celebrate Eid with him?
No, he did not.
I plead the fifth.
How are you doing, Treble? Can you
I
introduce
am
yourself?
doing amazing. Niggas look sus.
Yes.
It's Treble, never like supremacy, next level shaman. You already know. Now level 1 Reiki certified.
Okay.
We out here.
Give us the energy, right? And
You know
we
what I'm
probably
saying?
will need your skills today. As you see, we already got twin on twin crime from the gate. And to my left.
Saeed always in designer.
Okay.
With the Tom Ford frames.
The monkey clothes, brother.
Oh shit.
That was somebody accused us, audience, of wearing honky clothes.
Who still says honky? Like, that's some George Jefferson shit.
Who
like
does
from
still say that?
1972.
That definitely is George Jefferson. 1,000%. And Sherman Hemsley, he's passed away, right?
Yeah, he died like 10 years
Rest
ago.
in power.
Rest in power is George Jefferson.
Sherman Hemsley. You know what I'm saying?
Hemsley, man.
And it's
Look
interesting.
him up.
Yes. Look him up. The Jeffersons, the classic material.
Niggas owned a laundromat. Moved
Yes.
all the way on up.
And speaking of,
Speaking of going up,
I almost said speaking of,
I said they didn't go up, they went down.
so
the big machine in the sky.
yes,
No, it's not in the sky no more. It's on the bottom of the fucking sea.
Lord, have mercy.
Shit.
So we hadn't got into.
They said it exploded, so maybe
They said
it's not
it
even there.
yeah, imploded.
Imploded.
Yeah, we hadn't got into the submarine. We haven't talked about the submarine, and probably like.
How did they have a bigger like sequel to the Titanic?
But again, it's like, hey, bro, if
They was like, hold my
hey,
bitch.
look, if you went into like a movie, like a movie to pitch a movie and said, hey, I have this movie. Remember the Titanic? Where equally arrogant white people
Like literally.
build a ship to go see the Titanic remain and suffer the same fate as the Titanic.
Like,
They
yeah.
probably be like, man, that would never happen. But that's exactly what happened. I mean, a guy so full of himself that he basically said, fuck safety. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, safety.
Hold on. Speaking of
Like
which,
fact.
Wait, safety just is pure waste. I mean,
It just
but then,
want to be safe. Don't get out of bed. Don't get.
Definitely shouldn't have got out of bed that day.
but can I use
definitely
that?
don't get into his submarine.
now he's in that long sleep.
Oh shit. Niggas love sleep.
Don't do anything. At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk-reward question. I said, I think I can. Do
Oh, there was a risk reward, all right. Let's see what that ratio looked like.
Go ahead, Miracle.
I mean, that is facts. Like, getting out of bed every day is the risk.
True.
Which is why I like to stay home. But
As she just returned from another trip.
for work, I was on a trip for work. But to me, I didn't really understand the whole mechanics of this whole
Obviously, he didn't either.
adventure to the sea to begin with. And so when we started to hear these conversations where he was like, forget safety. I don't want older people working for me.
Right.
I want younger people because they're not going to be able to push back.
Yes.
And tell me no. This is what we talk about with billionaires. You are only a billionaire because you're able to exploit so many loopholes and rules.
Yes.
And because he single-handedly got private investment into this exploration, he was really able to say, you know what, this isn't safe, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to do it with other people who aren't even trained to do this work.
And then they had like the PlayStation controller. It was just a lot that was going on. But again, like you know, he was also was like out of all of these submarines that could reach those depths, he was the only one that wasn't certified. But if you heard that interview and you decide to get into that ship,
you niggas didn't watch Wakanda Forever.
I feel that it's the alpha male thing.
Oh,
I feel like
Submariner wasn't playing that shit.
I feel like it is this whole alpha male reclaim our masculinity that's going to get all y'all men killed because y'all are doing stupid stuff. To prove that you are man enough to take on the world, and it's like y'all could have just watched the video. You could have watched Discovery. They have little Titanic videos like once a year, and it would have been fine.
Or there's a great movie about
even
the Titanic.
Put a camera on the submersive. You know what I'm saying? And just watched it from the surface.
Watched it from the comfort.
And people do that.
Well,
that's how we have footage of the Titanic. Is that they've dropped cameras down there on unmanned submersible.
So anyway, is there any other comments? You said the billionaires, the arrogant.
Honestly,
so it's not wokeness, because it's funny because I was like, if conservatives, they're going to try to blame black people. Like now it's our fault. Like now black people are responsible for the submarine imploding.
Were any black people even employed at Oceangate?
I don't think so.
But it's not about that. It's because we want things to be woke. Our wokeness caused this white man to say...
I bet you them niggas wish they could wake up right now.
That is mean, That's not in the spirit of
They
mean,
tried to originally say that the submarine imploded because of wokeness.
Yes.
Because of the CEO had talked about his hiring practices.
Yes.
When it came out, a little further exploration, he didn't want a lot of older qualified people working for him because he wanted people to basically skirt the rules and not follow the safety procedures.
Right.
And so there were all of these I'm gonna call them ocean studier people because I forgot what their names are, who were writing him and saying, hey, this is a bad idea, don't do it.
Yeah.
So honestly, I thought, do y'all remember the Balloon Boy? Do y'all remember that?
Balloon Boy. Vaguely,
when
but man.
The dad told the boy to hide in the closet because he wanted to have the balloon go out.
I forgot
because
about
he was trying to get investors to invest in his science dreams.
Yes.
So at first, I was like, oh, this is a scam. They are fine. They're somewhere like just resting and
out there under the sea, under the sea.
They were kind of resting in peace.
But I'm saying, I thought
I'm sorry.
Actually, it's just goo because the way your body.
What? Stop.
Yeah, we don't got to go there. We don't got to go there.
But I know the woke response has been, we've been talking about these billionaires, but at the same time, these migrants have been literally dying on these same seas and without even a fraction of the response for the rescue missions. And I think that's the conversation we have to talk about, because we literally watch countries from all over the world, I don't understand why, go down to this area to try to find signs of life when in reality there were still migrants who were missing who could have possibly survived during the same time frame if we would have cared to rescue them.
And it was it was 700, I believe, migrants.
750?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 750. Yeah.
And like, that's just a terrible way of looking at how, remember when Paris Hilton's dog went missing and that black lady was missing at the same time, and they actually bumped the black lady off of the news to cover Paris Hilton's dog? It's the same thing. Shit is sick, man. Yeah, I mean, and I think, and it was like millions of dollars. Again, it's like, so here's this multi-billionaire who, by his own words, like flouts all of the regulations that's needed to go down to those depths.
And then, they were saying like somebody had said that like when you sign, you have to sign a waiver. Like death is in like the first like 3 sentences, like death, like to sign this waiver, right? And so then it becomes now because of their really, really foolishness, right? Him flying in the face of, I'm going to be risky. Now we spend millions of dollars to try to find this same guy. And then they're at the same time making laws to say, we don't want you to rescue migrants because we don't want these people in our country. Right. It showed. And I think that's why people started to laugh and make jokes. We're not joking at, of course, obviously we don't want to see people die. And it wasn't about, but I think that, part of the reason why people were joking because of the ridiculousness of the
circumstances of the death.
Not only that, and then the fact that there's all this money being spent to try to rescue them. Yeah. And meanwhile, as migrants are dying, remember like it was like a bunch of Haitians had come to the country. Like we didn't even want to send no boats to go out and get the Haitian people because, they didn't want Haitians to come to Florida. And be a part of that country. And so I think we see all of that. And then, we gonna joke on Twitter. I mean, that's kind of what black people do in tragedy. We gonna get off these jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But it's also to me the fact that they didn't have a safety and rescue plan.
Nope.
Well, you really can't rescue anybody at that depth.
Correct. But they didn't even have a safety and rescue. They could have had their own private diving contraption thing. And they didn't even do that. Right. So it's just not only this bravado to like, I'm going to go down and risk all of these rules and these people's
you can
lives.
Eject from the sub at that point.
Well, apparently they didn't even have a backup, thing to help them. So there was a lot of stuff they had missed. Yeah. A backup controller. There was like all the, so even if like they were just luck by, the grace of the Lord just floating in the ocean somewhere. Yeah. They just went off course. There wasn't even somebody to be able to come down there and like find them. Right. A backup submarine, a backup, I don't know, I
mean, but I get what you're saying, but you can't rescue anybody that depth.
They're going to be dead.
Hey, Miracle, you know what? It sounds like a lot of safety talk.
I'm just saying.
Clearly, my man says safety, schmafety. You know what I'm saying?
But it's just like mind-boggling. Yeah. Like, because when we go and we plan, we always have to have a safety plan or a rain plan for this when we do our stuff. And it's like y'all wasted billions of dollars.
It is weird too. This idea that like, oh, well, he didn't want to hire. It was his fault that he didn't want to hire these older white guys. He's an over 50 white guy. He is. And guess what? And his arrogance killed him. You know what I'm saying? And 5 other people. I wonder if the family members, they signed a waiver.
I'm about to say, there's probably indemnification.
You signed a waiver, so you can't even get your sue on.
And allegedly, the young guy who died, he went there with his father, and he was afraid of water. So that is like,
man, trying to impress that. Yeah.
So many issues, but it's just like rest in peace to them.
Rest in peace to them. Yeah,
it's like the man in Chicago. I don't want to take us off on a thing, but people have been making so many jokes about him dying as well.
What man in Chicago?
So the man, the 14-year-old killed that man.
Yeah. I didn't hear that.
He said on my jokes. There are people who've been like, he said on my granny, they made a fake funeral flyer. I was like, now you get to meet her. Wow. Like it's a whole. There have been so many jokes about the Chicago, and that is something that is traumatic and terrorizing because that man had trauma. Now that family has trauma. There's so much pain. We joke about things all the time and how we process tragedy and sometimes just the irony of things that happen. It's not like we're wanting somebody to die or wanting people to get hurt. It's just like sometimes these scenarios are so just outlandish. You just have to make jokes just to understand.
That's the whole basis of the show. We laugh at people crying.
So now we gotta keep it in so people don't.
One of the things I do.
Continuity.
One of the things what I am riding for. I'm riding for these orcas and these killer whales.
Me too.
Shout out to them. I am
So,
with
like,
them
at what point
all the way.
I think I missed this part of the conversation.
Yes.
At what point did they enter?
I don't know
What is
because
this?
So they've been
Because
communicating
I
with themselves,
yeah,
and teaching
because I
each other how to
wonder-
capsize yachts.
Well, and to be
Yeah.
honest, bro, I want like did the orcas was the orcas down with this because what they've been doing, like Farouk said, they've been coming together and attacking yachts.
like this.
Like capsizing yachts, attacking
shit.
yachts. It was some yacht race recently, and they fucked the race up. Like they coming together, and they, like these white people don't know why.
Yo, big man, you know who you are, bro.
They're like, why are these orcas doing this? And I'm like, hey,
Respect the
yo, orcas,
jokes, right?
keep going at these yachts, man, for real. Like, you know what I mean? So it is kind of, so again, it's like, was the orcas down there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like, we know what you do to us at
hitting on,
SeaWorld.
hitting on the joints. I mean,
We ain't forgetting.
Yeah.
This is
Like
my nigga
nature is
Willie.
healing.
Right, you know what I mean? This my nigga Willie and them. I seen Blackfish, nigga. I know what's grinding up on the surface level. Now you under the sea, under the sea.
So one thing that I found myself questioning amongst all of this is like, why did we? Not even we.
It
why
ain't
did
we,
these-
nigga. We ain't
Yeah.
speaking French right now.
Why did these news publications care so much about this submersible, and why were we getting like day-to-day updates on the status
it's
of
us
it?
because rich white people that went
rich,
missing, brother. Like,
billionaire
you know what I mean?
white
Like-
people. And so because these are billionaire white people, it serves that narrative, right? And that's, again, it seems like these orcas, as they're organizing,
Ooh,
right? It seems like
organized crime.
yes, it seems like it seems like they know who the billionaire white people is and what type of boats they like. It seems like they're going at them in that way. And again, if they were attacking, you know, niggas on rafts, there wouldn't be no issue. Nobody would care if a
Type
killer
shit.
whale, you know, knocked a nigga off a raft. But now that it's like, again, when it is wealthy white people, now like some white dude like was talking about like why we shouldn't be cheering on the orcas and it's a bad thing. And it's
It's
like
nature, nigga. Like,
Like,
what, you just gonna beef on the ocean? Like, you know what I mean?
Like people go on whale hunts. People are.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
come
People
on.
are destroying.
yes, their ecosystem.
That was the whole premise of the
taking
second
the
Avatar
food.
film. Like,
Oh, it was?
yeah, it was because they was killing whales.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
They went there poaching whales. Like, that's the whole premise of Avatar 2.
It's funny because I wonder if when that movie came out, there was the
Orcas, they sent the sonar out. James Cameron was like, "Yo, listen, this is what I'm dropping.
there's like,
Do
oh,
what
this,
you do."
oh, this what we doing now? Oh, they doing this to us? No, let's go. Miracle.
So the orcas are doing what they got to do to get.
Listen,
Nature is healing, and nature's
Yes.
going to heal by destroying humanity because what's up? Like
we seen what happened with COVID. After when the first 3
COVID
weeks of
didn't
lockdown.
take enough. COVID didn't take the right.
What I'm
people.
saying is like whales came back, dolphins came back,
That
the
is
air
true.
was clean,
Yeah,
and
birds
nature was
came
like,
back.
"We don't need you."
Yeah, that's true.
Like
That is
humans,
true.
we don't
one
need
thing I do want
The
to.
air was great.
you. It ain't like today.
Today is terrible.
on this.
Okay.
Because I think the root of the issue with our relationship with nature is that we talk about it from such a separatist mindset.
100%.
Like, we're not a part of nature?
Aren't nature.
Yeah.
And then when these white folks go out in these like manufactured ass yachts
Yes.
and see that orcas are damaging them,
Yeah.
they forget, oh, like we're in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
we
like-
are part of a world and we are the outliers in a way that we've organized ourselves as humans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that we should like. I love the little videos when I see the little bears out.
Yes.
Like the little bear was in like Miami Beach or whatever. I think it was Miami Beach. I think we should be coexisting with nature. Like even though I'm afraid of some of the animals
Yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
But I think that's like where we're gonna be in a few years. Like we're gonna be like, oh, there's like the little bear.
Hey,
there's a little alligator like in the pool. Like it's gonna be very country.
I wonder if you're on the boat and the orca's coming, if like as a black person you can just go out there and be like,
Like,
oh, hey, yo, you see me?
Like, nah.
Same. Me and you, orca.
Yeah.
Or they just like kill you fast. Like
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. So we do have an update to our Trump news, Miracle.
Oh man,
We do have an update.
we talking about go get me a Coke.
Yes. And apparently the audio has leaked. So in the Donald Trump espionage case, Donald Trump was accused and is being accused of having secret classified documents, and they had an audio of Donald Trump showing these secret documents to some random people at the White House.
This nigga had show and tell with nuclear secrets.
Let me show you something. And so you have the audio, Farouk,
From
of
the New
Trump?
York Times?
No, I think CNN has the audio.
Oh, it was CNN's
has
audio?
Yeah. Does New York Times have audio too?
I thought, because when we played it, it was the New York Times one.
Share it. Yeah, share what you got.
Let me make sure this is it.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran.
Clearly documents.
Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look.
Not a big pile.
Yeah, a big pile.
They presented me this.
A big pile.
Off the record, but
It's
off
off the record. Okay.
It's off the record.
This was the Defense Department.
This is Trump showing classified documents.
DOD shit.
To randos.
All sorts of stuff. Pages long. Look.
Pages and pages and pages.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing?
And there's
This
giggling
totally
in
wins
his
my
face.
case, Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information.
This is
Look at
nuts.
this. You attack, and
My man is bugging.
Out all the time,
I thought he was smarter than this.
she'd send it to Anthony Weiner, the pervert.
You know?
Wait,
By the way,
listen.
isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You did.
papers.
It's pretty
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
now
classified.
we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
President, I could have, but
It's
now
so
I
cool.
can't.
I mean, it's so. We here and I have.
As
And you
president,
probably almost didn't
He
believe
said
me,
that.
but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
now because I
incredible,
just told you
right?
a classified document.
Bring some Cokes in, please.
Bring some Cokes in here. We're going to continue going through these classified documents.
Who is recording? That's what I want to know.
He's got a snitch in his miss.
Man,
Well, supposedly this was like for some book they were writing, so they were recording to write some book. But
I mean,
yes,
that makes it even worse.
that was Trump saying, a woman said, I don't know, we'll have to see, we'll try to figure it out. And Trump says, declassify it. See, as president, I could have declassified it, but now I can't. So here's Trump also on record after showing random people highly sensitive documents.
Yeah, who were these people?
Randos. We just gonna call them randos. And then he said, I'm looking at you, Miracle. Then he says he can't declassify it because he's not president. Remember, he was saying, I'm the president, all these secret documents I could just declassify. Miracle. What's your defense?
Oh, a defense,
Yes.
right? One, like he said, these are just random documents. We don't know what documents they are. They could be blank, right? So we can't see these documents.
So why would he be showing somebody a blank
reference.
document about Iran?
He could. He's a comedian. He's a theatric. It was just for to drive the point home. But honestly, truly, this is probably the most damaging part of some of their evidence. And again, I know that he had a documentary team.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, a documentary team.
Which has been very troubling because they have been able to give over a lot of evidence.
They did.
And I don't believe he signed over protection paperwork with this film crew. So they can't, they're not like privileged documents where you could say, I'm not going to release my sources.
Yeah, wow.
And I believe it may be a Canadian team or a London team.
So they're not American based. So
Yes.
No, I'm saying I think it's it was just weird. I think he brought in like an international team to make this documentary about like him and his family, and so this is where some of this stuff is coming from. But he has this ego, and it's the same thing when we were talking about the submarine.
Yeah,
these people have these egos, and they want everyone to like.
Has Trump just sunk his own ship?
Come on, jokes.
Yes.
But to me, the problem, the biggest thing was not the declassification. It was him saying, "Oh, this is deeply confidential," and the department gave this.
Yeah, the military gave it to him. He said.
But what I'm very interested to know, if now that he's okay with selling military secrets, is this going to be the thing where people start to feel uncomfortable? Because I know,
I mean, this is definitely jeopardizing Homeland Security. So you're crossing multiple different departments. You're crossing Homeland, DOD. CIA, FBI, military, like you're crossing
and bringing and now it's trying to say we lied and to bait Iran into a war,
right?
So now it's like a lot of stuff where now it's like,
well, unfortunately, Miracle, this headline says Republican voters grow more excited about Trump after his indictment.
I fucking hate Earth, man. Like I hate it here.
I don't think they know the details yet. We don't know all. Like we're like, oh, he just has some documents.
Miracle. Do you think these Trump supporters care about details? I mean, these are Trump supporters, Miracle. He's going to come out and say what he says. Oh, this deranged Jack Smith, blah, blah, blah. And they believe it's some conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? Miracle.
That was an AI recording?
80% of them
just saying he doesn't want to go to a war with Iran, and we're mad at him about that?
Miracle. 80% of them said that they would still vote for him if he was convicted.
Of course.
We're going to have a president behind
He's not. They don't care. That all they want is stuff to go back to be deregulated so they can do more submarine things.
Has he actually taken advantage of the fact that he could say these are trumped up charges? Like, I'm surprised he hasn't said that yet.
He probably has.
Has he? Because I haven't heard it. Like
trumped up.
These are
this
trumped up
definitely
charges.
gives that statement a whole new context.
It does, man. Right? Like,
but I think we know what this recording is because the news media is finally doing their investigative journalism.
Right.
And in the past 2 weeks, we have learned more about DeSantis and Trump
fingers
than we have in I would say the past year and a half about how horrible their policies are.
Right.
And I know in response, a lot of conservatives try to say that Biden was selling secrets.
They have,
and they were like, nah, that's not how this works.
Including Trump, right? And they actually investigated Biden, found no evidence because it was like, oh, Hunter has this relationship with all these foreign powers, totally ignoring the fact that Jared Kushner and Ivanka got $2 billion from the Saudis, right after they left office, totally ignoring that. You know what I'm saying? Trump's relationship with the Saudis and his golf courses. And they actually investigated Biden's family and didn't find anything.
Yeah. And Hunter has been the biggest sticking point to the Biden administration, but it's also helped because they released all of those videos and a lot of those emails and voice recordings, and all it showed was that Biden really was a good dad who cared for his kid.
Right.
And so it was I don't know why they keep trying to say it's Hunter, when in reality they'd be like, maybe we should move past all of this.
I think, they realize that because of he has the name Biden, they hate Joe Biden with a passion. And it's and again, the wildest part is Hunter Biden was never a part of the cabinet. Ivanka was actually in Trump's cabinet. She actually worked under Trump in the White House. And I don't know, there was just breaking news about Trump, talking about Ivanka in a sexual way, his own daughter, which is kind of wild.
Hasn't he done that before? I thought that's nothing new.
I mean, it's right. But this is, I guess, a former aide talked about that he had said all these remarks about her and that the chief of staff had to remind the president.
It's like Roman and Shiv.
That this was his daughter. Again, this is these evangelical God, quote unquote, God, Jesus loving Republic. This is they man. This y'all man. And it's it doesn't matter. At this point, Miracle, he probably could body slam the Pope on national TV and they wouldn't care.
And they don't believe in the Pope anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't rock with the Pope.
They don't care what he does. They're it's like...
Imagine that though. Imagine that we need to get an AI simulation of that.
But look,
celebrity deathmatch.
It's Trump versus the Pope. It's like Trump is this submersive, and they're just gonna go down with him, regardless of how crazy an idea it is.
He said that multiple times. He's got. They got I got them. I can do whatever. He said I can shoot somebody and they would not care.
He was just given this award as Man of the Decade in Michigan. I mean, again, like, despite all of this, I mean, the man is under charges.
I mean, we're saying stay out of Florida. You got to stay out of Michigan now.
Although the Michigan governor is doing a lot of great things, but it's the thing about, like, if it's us, right? Yeah. Don't do the crime, don't do the time. Oh, you shouldn't have been criminal. Why was he there? You know, it's always this stuff when it comes to, like, black people that die at the hands of the police. This guy got 71 felonies, and it's like, yo, he is the man of the year. It's wild.
But if you have this belief that you're an untapped millionaire, that you're just so close to being a part of the 1%, your whole identity is invested in people who have power, who are going to do the things that you would do if you have that power.
But most of these people, there are millionaires. They're not even close.
But there's this belief that if you work really hard, this American dream, you too can be successful.
Yes.
You too will one day be able to be the big boss.
Right.
And so what these people are doing is like, well, if I'm the big boss, what I want to do? I want to do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends. I want to grab people by the pussy. I want to let all of my friends do whatever they want to make money.
Yes.
I want to like bully the people that I don't like. I want to make fun of the people I don't like. And I want to force people to like have blind allegiance and loyalty to me. And so that is the people that he's speaking to. These people who don't really have any hope in policy, any hope in politicians because they've been disappointed. But what they do have is a hope that they could be like Trump, who's uneducated, who's rude, who says what he wants, who makes his own rules, who makes his own money and like leaves people in the dust when he wants to.
True.
That's what he's speaking to.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't care about because these people don't care about migrants. They don't care about whether black people live or not. 100%. They don't care about gay rights. And so they're like, oh, this man, he doesn't care either. I don't have to be a good person and I can make money. Yes. That's why they like him. Like, you
nailed it down.
And that is something that happens because all of our policy failures are literally leaving people disenfranchised.
Yes.
As black people, we understand disenfranchisement as getting scraps at the table.
Yes.
But like a lot of poor white people don't get scraps at the table. They get like why are you looking like these poor black people over here?
True.
And so to combat that, they're like, I need to find this rich white identity that I can cling to, and that's what we're seeing.
And they're clinging.
They're God. What did Hillary say? They're gods. They're guns. And their Bible. They're clinging to it.
They got Trump flags. They're wearing his clothes. They're going crazy.
And I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either. Trouble?
Unfortunately, it seems like Trump has become the new American dream in a sense.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas want to live like Trump.
Yeah. And Trump also, Trouble, has a message for black people.
Oh.
And Trump, this is according to Donald Trump, he has a quote. It says, President Joe Biden and every living president except Donald Trump are direct descendants of slaveholders. Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and through his white mother's side, Barack Obama. I hope that every African American in our country is reading this right now. Remember.
And you know why Trump does not have a family that owns slaves? It's because he has a family that sold drugs and ran prostitution rings and made their money off of gambling.
Oh, okay.
Is one better than the other?
No, but I'm just saying, like, people are like, oh, whatever. But like, that's how he got. And his father was at a Klan rally.
MAGA Muslim has something to say. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm just asking. I mean, in my opinion, owning people was way worse.
Owning people is way worse. That's right.
Owning people is way worse.
Defend your president.
No, like, remember he was there. Trump was descendant, I believe, a Polish.
I don't know. I just know that
Polish. I know they were like northeastern European.
His dad was at a Klan rally. That's the thing Trump.
Oh, his dad was at a Klan rally.
His dad got arrested for being down with the Klan.
I had no idea.
Like
you didn't know that? No, I did not know that.
No, like
don't talk that.
You might have voted for Joe Biden.
Don't do that. But no. So Reuters put out an article yesterday, and I think this is why Trump said this, is that Reuters, are they a leftist or rightist website?
They're regular. Middle. Yeah, they're
middle. Okay, so you can go to Reuters, and it's the front page. It says, among America's political elite, Reuters found that 5 living presidents, the aforementioned that Jasiri dropped,
yes,
2 Supreme Court justices, 11 governors, and 100 legislators descend from ancestors who enslaved black people. And they have Jack, I don't know if you could pull that up. Like, they have it on the front screen of all these politicians. And it says, America's family secret. More than 100 U.S. leaders, lawmakers, presidents, and governors and justices have slaveholding ancestors, a Reuters examination found. A few were willing to talk about their ties to America's original sin. And I remember this being like a talking point a couple years ago when Obama got elected, that like his white mom was related to slave owners, and that every president that has ever sat has been traced to a common lineage.
Yeah.
Madness.
Except Donald Trump,
for Teflon T.
Yes, yes. So what would you say to that, brother? That
shit is nuts.
Yeah.
Are you looking for me to say something else? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, it does seem very conspiracy theorist.
I thought you was going to get your Hotep on for a second.
The world.
Oh, no. I just think it's just wild. Like,
see, y'all didn't watch the Different World episode when Whitley found out her family. Do you remember the episode I'm talking about? Oh, my God. You got to go back and watch A Different World, which is the,
there was a spinoff of the Cosby Show. Yeah. It was about historically black universities, yes.
And there's an episode where one of the black actors does a family tree and finds out her black ancestors owned slaves.
Ooh,
and it was like a really good it was a really good show.
Oh, wow.
But I love A Different World. Tupac's episode is like, yes. But either as it may, what I was going to say was on part of this story is because the Washington Post did this really wild article on Supreme Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson and was like, she's a descendant of slaves. Her husband is a descendant of slave owners. And everybody was like, this makes absolutely no sense to do this profile. And so they came out and said, oh, it's not just her, it's all of these people.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, so like my home state of Georgia, our governor, he's one of the 11 governors.
Of course, he's one of the governors. Wow, Georgia has a slave-owning governor. How surprising.
But this is just the reality of our world. The majority of people who have money,
absolutely, that's
in
how you
our
got
country, it's because of slave ties.
100%.
Slave ties, mob ties. This is how people made their money, and we need to just be very realistic about this.
But it's wild that Trump says remember, because in 1927, Farouk, Donald Trump's father was arrested after a Klan rally in Queens.
I had no idea, man. That's wild.
It's wild because they actually have a clip of the newspaper that has his name in it, that has Fred Trump's name in it. It says, on Memorial Day 1927, brawls erupted in New York led by sympathizers of the Italian fascist movements and the Ku Klux Klan. It says 1,000 white-robed Klanmen marched through the Jamaica neighborhood, eventually spurning an all-out brawl in which 7 men were arrested. One of those men, Fred Trump, arrested at a Klan's rally. And so I don't know.
Jack, can you pull this up? I just got it up on the.
Yeah, I don't know if Trump has ever commented about that, but I'm sure he probably distanced himself from that. But it's kind of hilarious that he wants us to remember.
Trump said in this Washington Post article, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. I don't know. Did he endorse me or what's going on? Because I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacy. Wow.
Well, speaking of white supremacy, there is a group, a new group that has emerged that's kind of like, we saw the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, and this new group is for the women MAGA. And it's called Moms of Liberty.
And Jack,
Moms of Liberty, and they have different chapters. The Indiana Moms of Liberty sent out their first newsletter, and in their first newsletter, they quoted Hitler. Oh. They said, what historical figure should we launch our newsletter with? And they quoted Hitler, and the newsletter it says, quote, he alone who owns the youth gains the future. And that is a quote from Hitler.
And then they tweeted.
Oh, wait. Wait, hold on. No, they didn't even. I thought they were going to maybe have some answer to that.
And then in a now since deleted tweet from the Moms for Liberty verified account, they say, we must secure the existence of our people and the future for white children.
which is the 14 letters. So white supremacy, it's very weird. They're
the 14 letters, what does that mean?
14 words. So we must secure is 14 words. It's a call.
Yes.
That's like their mission statement. The 8, you see, it's a lot of white supremacists have 1-4-8-8.
So what does 14 stand for?
That slogan.
We must secure the existence of our people in the future for white children. Like, that's coded language.
Oh, that's
So
their
14.
that's their shit.
That's their mantra.
Like if you
mantra.
found like the Moms of Liberty, they would have that like tatted on their arm or
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
So like a lot of white supremacy, they'll have like 1488 or 8814.
Yes.
So
What's the 88 signify?
The 8 is Hitler. So HH. So
Oh,
8,
Hail
8,
Hitler.
Hail
Yeah,
Hitler.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
8,
yeah,
8.
yeah.
Hold on, let me say this. So there's a screenshot. They actually have the quote, and beside it, his name. They actually put his name on the quote. Like, I can see somebody like, maybe you quoted it and you didn't know who did it. It says, quote, he alone who owns the youth gains the future, quote, unquote, Adolf Hitler.
Man.
What the fuck?
And this Moms for Liberty group, they are the organization that has gone around the country. They are funded by billionaires and funded by far right organizations, and their whole thing is to remove queer, Black, brown books and education. So, Amanda, I forgot what her name is, the poet, she just had her book removed out of Florida. They go around, they say these books
Amanda
are,
Gordon, yeah.
They said this is a graphic novel, not understanding that graphic novel means it's like illustrated.
Yes. Oh, shit.
They were like, it's graphic, but they keep calling these books pornographic, all this stuff to remove these books out of libraries, out of schools. Some of the books have been Rosa Parks, MLK. Even here in Pennsylvania, they were talking about removing the Roberto Clemente book.
Yes, absolutely.
From shelves. So they've been very, very good about the work that they do. They're extremely organized. People laugh. But they have gotten libraries shut down.
Yeah.
They have gotten all of these particularly Black queer authors removed from bookshelves, taken out of libraries. And so they go around and they falsely claim that books are pornographic, falsely claims that it's indoctrination. They push the whole critical race theory narrative in middle schools. And so they have taken over school boards and made school districts wholly unsafe
100%.
for Black, brown, queer, and immigrant children. And this is a part of their thing because they believe that education needs to be white. And education needs to be Eurocentric, and anything other than that is a threat to the survival and safety of white people. And there is, I think there's like Moms for Wine or Wine Down Mobs is the leftist and progressive, and like Grandparents for Truth. So now people, suburban white people are now mobilizing against the Moms for Liberty. Like,
as
this
they
is,
should.
they're like, this is, nobody wants to argue over a Roberto Clemente book. Like, this is ridiculous.
We could call them the Corporal Karens. So they actually apologized. They said, we should have not quoted him in our newsletter and his press RD.
We said the silent part out loud.
They put him on the front of the newsletter. That is hilarious.
That was definitely page 2 stuff. We're sorry.
And a part of the reason why they've been so successful is they're like a moms-based group. But who wants to attack moms, right? These moms for. And people have, even CBS did this whole spotlight on them and didn't even talk about how violent and harmful they were. And so it is like these blonde-haired, blue-eyed women who are going around doing chapters, and some of their Southern chapters, they're trying to make them multicultural, and it's like, no, these are violent, these are horrible.
What do you mean they're trying to make them? Do they try to recruit?
They try, for instance, the lady in Florida, I believe she was, I want to say Venezuelan,
So
but
the Proud Boys,
kind of.
Okay.
So the same thing, and so people to prevent calls of being white supremacy, they try to get some multicultural.
and then when they get indicted, they're going to have the brown people take the fall.
The Southern Poverty Law Center called them a hate group. They're doing a convention. They're doing a big conference in Philadelphia actually this week.
Really?
And so it's been a lot of people talking about
we should get some interviews.
protesting and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But again, they're,
It's gonna be
Trump,
real in Philly
DeSantis,
this weekend.
all these people are like supporting these moms, similarly to how you saw Trump and all of them with the Proud Boys and Trump and them with the Oath Keepers. And it's like these right-wing radical groups that, expose like quote Hitler and want to be violent. They always support Trump, DeSantis, and these kind of right-wing individuals.
Look at these white women making affirmative action work for them.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it says like DeSantis, Trump, and Nikki Haley are all supposed to speak at this Mom for Liberty. I guess, was Tim Scott too black for Not you, nigger. So
Man.
it's wild when you see, and it is, again, to me, it like shows white privilege that these white people can quote Hitler and do all of this like overtly racist stuff and still be seen as mainstream in the Republican Party, and these mainstream candidates, quote unquote, just ride with them. And
So
they
I'm
never
sure-
get marginalized.
I'm sure
you know?
there's people on the internet saying, how come they can quote Hitler but Kanye can't?
And they probably are. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Again, they they probably are saying that. Again, I mean, you could argue, right, they quoted Hitler. I guess I don't know, we haven't heard an apology from Kanye.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But I haven't seen, and maybe I haven't seen it, I haven't seen the attack that, there was an attack. There was to me, like a program piece around Kyrie, who also apologized. I haven't seen that on these. Is there one on these Moms of Liberty? Like, are organizations pushing back on the Moms of Liberty miracle? Because it was seen that if they did, Trump and DeSantis and Nikki Haley wouldn't be at their conference. So, like, are they not pushing back hard enough, or what's going on?
Why are you looking at me?
I mean, people are pushing back. People have asked the conference not to host them. People have asked, the hotels to move them away.
Right.
A lot of stuff. Philly is going to be wild this weekend, so just be
mindful.
Just be mindful if you're going out. There's going to be a lot of far right folks. We've seen people, particularly a lot of people are going to be coming to Kensington because that is the hands-off area where people who have addiction disorder are congregating. And so we know a lot of folks are going to be really making a horrible content in Philly this weekend. So just be careful. Just stay safe. It's not a good look, but people are attacking Pennsylvania. We had the Right for Life people here in Pittsburgh. Because Pennsylvania has a large Muslim population, large black population. We have a lot of rights and freedoms and protections here, and people are really trying to attack Pennsylvania to make sure it goes conservative next year, because we are a purple battleground state now, and so it's just gonna be all caution.
Be careful out there.
Yeah.
So here's probably a book coming out that Moms of Liberty would definitely want to be banned. They would definitely, because they like banning books. The Oxford University Press revealed its plans to publish the, quote, Oxford Dictionary of African American English. And so it says they've already selected 100 words to include in its dictionary and has eyes set on publication in 2025. Here are 10 words.
Can I read them off?
No.
Do we all get? Please start, sir.
Why does he get to start?
Word number one. Oh, do you want to read the words? Miracle?
I was like, because he's light skinned.
Oh. She said you're the least qualified to read. She said you're not even American. You from Canada, nigga.
Damn.
How you gonna read the African American words? Brooke said, I should have skipped this motherfucker.
Start from I think you should start from the bottom and work your way up.
No, I like it. No, he already mentioned word one. Can you read the definition? If you don't know, for those that don't know, bussin'. What is bussin'?
It's an adjective, especially describing food.
Okay.
Can you use it in a sentence? I sure can. Yo, them chitlins is busting.
No, really, on Eid, right? Is that what you had?
Well, I mean,
were they vegan chitlins?
Chitlins is one of the words in here. So bussin' was number 1. Grill is number 2.
Okay, so bussin' is especially describing food as tasty or delicious.
Right, yeah. Grill, a removable or permanent dental overlay, typically made of silver, gold, or another metal.
Yes, a grill.
Right. Promised land, a place perceived to be where enslaved people.
Is that a specifically black word? The promised land?
So Canada was the promised land.
First of all, don't be trying to lay your claim to our black word, sir. Calm down.
Canada was the promised land.
Calm down. I mean, Atlanta was the promised land. Mecca's the promised land. I just don't really understand what went into this.
And why chitlins made it? I mean, come on.
I understand
the kitchen,
chitlins.
The hair at the nape of the neck.
Hold on. Let me give you the definition of chitlins. Chitterlings. A dish made from pig intestines.
Deliciousness.
Pig intestines. So an intestine is
booty noodles.
But that's the one thing, like
that are typically boiled, stuffed,
boiled booty noodles. booty, right.
Working for a Muslim organization, we've had to give up the swine, and I do miss. We have a conversation.
Chitterlings.
I do miss chitlins. But shout out to the chef on Twitter who made vegan chitlins. I'm gonna make those.
What they make them out
of?
Soy skin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said so. There the other words are kitchen, cakewalk, old school, pat.
Pat, I feel is wrong though.
Aunt Hagar's children and ring shout. You said there were some words for.
Yeah, I never heard of Aunt Hagar's children. Like Aunt Hagar's children, Aunt Hagar, however you say it.
Is that because you wasn't one of them?
I'm Afro-Semitic.
I'm sorry, bro. You gotta say me.
Well, this is universal. Our experiences are not.
The definition of Aunt Hagar's children says a reference to black people collectively.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
He's a cousin.
It said probably a reference to Hagar in the Bible. I hadn't heard of it either. I'm just messing with you. I haven't heard of it either. Have you heard of Trouble?
Ishmael's mother.
Okay, I was wondering if it was a light skin thing.
No.
But Trouble has confirmed.
Ishmael's mother, Hagar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with Hagar, but I didn't.
Yeah, I never heard that specific thing.
Like, once you break it down, it's like, oh, that's a dope-ass reference, actually. That's a cool...
Did you feel inspired to make a song?
Oh, yeah, and
Hagar's children. I never heard of ring shout, but this seems like a very Christian-specific one. So I definitely don't.
Have you all heard of ring shout?
Not at all.
It's like Southern, like cakewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But I have a problem with pat.
Like, I have an Aunt Pat.
Because you pat your weave, ladies, pat your weaves. They try to say it's tapping your toes.
To tap the foot in rhythm with music, sometimes as an indication of participation in religious worship, usually of a person's foot to tap in rhythm with the music. So that's not correct, you're saying?
You pat. You tap your toe, yes, but you're also patting your hair. We're talking about like blackness, when you like pat your weaves, like Beyonce. And so I have a problem with the limited definition of pat, because I would say instead of tapping your toe, it's like moving your appendages in a rhythmic manner. Touching something, but I don't
fact
like
that they got the kitchen in here is hilarious.
Yes,
like
they're giving away secrets.
we had an art teacher when I was still teaching who found out about the kitchen, and there was a little girl who came and her hair wasn't done one day, and he said, "Oh, your kitchen all out today." Man. I was weak. I'm like, Brad, you can't say that, man. Like, you can't do that, Brad. But it was funny.
Yes, and so we do have a Black Excellence today.
Oh yeah, we do. Hold on, let me get that real
cue
fast.
that up. Our brother, our friend, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five is now a city councilman in Harlem, New York City. Can we get some claps for Yusef? You know what I'm saying? Let's clap it up for our brother. Yeah, let's clap it up for Yusef Salam. Congratulations, Yusef, for he won the Democratic primary for city council in New York to represent Harlem.
I love this tweet, Jack. Could you pull this up on the screen, man? This tweet is amazing. It says, 34 years after Donald Trump led a lynch mob to execute him and 4 other wrongly accused black and brown men, Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five has declared victory in the New York City Council race to represent Harlem.
Absolutely. Play a little bit of his
If y'all saw where I was on the ballot, that's right. Started from the bottom.
Now we here, brother. Come on, Yusef.
This campaign has been about those who have been forgotten. This campaign has been about our Harlem community who has been pushed into the margins of life and made to believe that they were supposed to be there. What has happened in this campaign has restored my faith in knowing that I was born for this. Every single thing that happens to you happens for you.
I don't know about that.
Man. Oh, you don't agree?
Feel like I don't need.
Oh yeah.
It's wild because
you don't want that amount of trauma in your life.
I remember when he came here and he told me that he was gonna run. He was gonna announce. It was at the August Wilson Center. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "Let me holler at you real fast," and I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna announce the city council."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, I'm about to move back next week."
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, exactly. I remember talking to him. I remember thinking like, because Yusef is such a dynamic speaker, he speaks all over the world. He's a global speaker. I kind of was like, man, you know, it's like you somebody that you don't want to share. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, now you're going back to New York, but he's always somebody that, you know, his background is he wants to serve the people. He wants to serve our community, and he wanted to go back and serve, you know, his community, the community he grew up in Harlem and New York. And also, like, Yusef is hard. Like, when you see Yusef, he's drip. Like, Yusef is
absolutely.
Harlem to the core, always fresh, always clean.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, he was looking clean last night. And so to him and his family, his wife and his family, just, you know, want to congratulate them because that's the sacrifice. Because he was in Atlanta just, you know, living it up. He had the house and the grass and the lawn. And he said, no, I want to go back to New York and serve my community. And so it's beautiful to see him win that primary.
Yeah, man. Allahu Akbar, man.
Yes.
I was just thinking about how he came on when we announced for One Hood Power.
Absolutely.
He was one of our primary inaugural sponsors.
Yes.
And to think, like, when I look at that video, like him and Kahari having that conversation of two black men with similar backgrounds of being falsely accused of having a horrific public, you know, castigation, and then to come back and bounce back and win.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like, that's some real power shifting and some real power planning. And I hope that we can have them to have a conversation together because they literally could have just done their own redemption arc and like lived in a lap of luxury, and both of them felt compelled to run for office to make sure people didn't experience the pain and suffering that they went through. Absolutely. And that's a lot to like still, you know, have to heal yourself and heal your family and then try to go out and heal other people. So it's like mad props to Yusuf, props to Kahari. Yes. And I still got all the smoke, you know, for what was it for Mr. Dangle? Like, because Mr. Wrangle.
You call him Dangle.
Wrangle. Like, do we even care about his name at this point?
No,
because and I know he's since cleared it up, but to make a comment publicly about somebody's name and then being foreign, just even in New York City, is problematic. But when you're talking about another black Muslim person, it just makes absolutely no sense.
And that's his birth name, right? Yusuf Salam is his birth name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I hope that the black elite within that District 9 are having a public conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, public shame deserves a public apology and public change, but a public conversation about how they're becoming more inclusive and how they're educating and unlearning white supremacy within their own circles, because those comments should have never been made, and they were not adequately, appropriately, publicly apologized for and addressed. So that is my beef.
And just two quick things on that. And one, for Charles Wrangle to say he never heard of him is also wild because of how powerful and global the story of the Exonerated Five had become. You never heard, you in New York City, and you never heard of Yusuf Salam. And then he kind of diminished Yusuf. He was saying like, oh, well, he told me, you know, that his because of how he navigated the criminal justice system, like he should be in this part. And I think you shared it when you talked about what Kahari went through and what Yusef. He is uniquely qualified to serve in this position because as a black man, he was falsely accused. He did have to go through the criminal justice system. He understands how it feels to be pushed to the margin, to be told, to be accused of something and told you can never amount up to what you might dream for or want for you and your family's future. And he was able to overcome that. So he is the exact person that we need to be serving and in leadership at this time. And so I'm glad he didn't let those comments or other comments dissuade him. And despite, it shows like, we don't care what you think, Charles Rangel. Not now, because guess what? Yusef going to be the city council person, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like Charles was one of those black people fighting for mass incarceration back in the day.
He was. I mean, there's
almost.
Yes, 100%. So with that being said, we have a book. Are you going to do the book?
I need someone to read it for me.
It says, Fearing the Black Body, the Racist Origin of Fat Phobia. And who is it written by?
I don't know.
Sabrina
Strings. And so that is our white pages.
Man, why
today.
Double caked up on a Wednesday afternoon on the cover. Jeez.
Oh, that's Sarah Bartman. You know what I'm saying?
I know who. Yeah, I'm just saying. But
that's
just like, wow. Just double cheeked up.
Yes. Hide yourself. Everybody is trying to hide. As Farouk obviously loves the books. You like that picture, brother?
Well, I got pictures. Of course I love it.
I need you to Google who Sarah Barton is.
I know who she is.
Please Google. Please. Please. And have somebody.
I mean, honestly, when I turned the book around, I just wasn't expecting to see that on the cover.
have somebody read it to you.
It was at this moment we realized.
Yeah, please, that's all I did. Like, don't do that.
So with that being said,
I said don't do that.
He wasn't. No, it wasn't.
That wasn't even
that
the
wasn't.
thing.
Yeah, that you missed it. It was probably the opposite of what she was saying, of what you thought. So with that being said, do we have any announcements? Is there anything coming up?
Who's this corporeal nigga in here, man?
Is there anything? That's a.
Santa Claus?
He looks so racist from over here. He looks like a guy that would go down in the submarine. And so anyway,
he wouldn't fit.
Do we have any?
I feel like we should need to teach. I guess people need to go Google Sarah Bartman.
Yes, they definitely
and
do.
Understand.
They definitely do. Yes,
what she means to black women.
100%. Please do.
And yeah,
but any? Do we have anything going on in the city? Any announcements? We have.
I feel there's a lot of stuff happening. I know Picklesburg is in a couple weeks.
Oh, we don't. Come on. We will have Antoine's birthday party July 12th. I know that's the next big event that we're involved in, and we're actually going to send something out to the community if they want to support that effort. Anything else happening?
The day after, a legend was born.
Oh, Trouble in LS. Okay, well, we can celebrate your birth as that as well. You gave me some type of. I didn't know what that meant, Ime. You gave me some type of. Oh yes, if you're watching this on Thursday, State of Black Pittsburgh is happening. You can register to be a part of the State of Black Pittsburgh. It's going to be at the University of Pittsburgh, sponsored by the Urban League. Shout out to our brother Carlos T. Carter. And it's going to be a panel. I'm on the panel. Tammy Thompson, Dr. Clyde Pickett, who's at Pitt. It's going to be a dope panel. There's a youth aspect of it as well. So come down to Pitt Thursday evening for the State of Black Pittsburgh. We'll put the link in so you can register for that as well.
This may be wrong, but I think it's right. For my North Side folks, but for all my people in Pittsburgh, as you know, Janelle is part of a collective trying to revitalize the jungle, the North Side basketball court, and they are a finalist in this competition. And if you go to everycourt.local-hoops.com, you can vote for the jungle to win. If they win, they will have, I think it's like $25,000 or $50,000 to revitalize the basketball court on the north side. We're trying to get people to vote as much as they can. I think Brooklyn is still in the lead. But please go out and vote for this court so we can get some art and have a safe place for the community to have. I believe you have until 11:59 this Wednesday to vote. So
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, we're in the lead right now?
Yeah,
we may be in the lead right
yeah.
now, but we got to keep our lead. So we want people to vote.
And I saw that Hounds, I think it's Hounds USA on Twitter. I retweeted. It's a dope video. I think they did an incredible job of just visually, media-wise, how they put that video together. So shout out to Hounds USA, shout out to Janelle and all those people. So go on there. I think it's every court. What's the thing?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, you can go on the website.
Everycourt.local-hoops.com.
Right. So yeah, but it's a dope video. Vote for them. They're in the lead. We hope to keep them in the lead. Anything going on with you, bro?
Nah, man.
You just gonna Google Sarah Bartman and get your learn on. Huh?
I mean, I know who she is.
I'm messing with you. He gonna hate Google images.
He about to, as soon as
fucking right.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
No. So now we're gonna go back and read "Belly of the Beast" by Deshaun.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Lord. So with that,
more learned and more educated.
More learned, more educated, and unfortunately, probably gonna be more white supremacy. But we'll see y'all next week. This week in White Supremacy, y'all. Peace.
Stay dry.